Well, the virus has now killed more than 100 people in China, and new cases have been confirmed around the world.
So you don't want to frighten the American public.
France and South Korea have also got evacuation plans.
But you need to prepare for soon.
Strongly warning Americans to avoid all non-essential travel to China.
That this is going to be a real serious problem.
France, Australia, Canada, the US, Singapore, Cambodia, Vietnam, the list goes on.
Health officials are investigating more than 100 possible cases in the US.
Germany, a man has contracted the virus.
The epidemic is a demon, and we cannot let this demon hide.
Japan, where a bus driver contracted the virus.
Coronavirus has killed more than 100 people there and infected more than 4,500.
We have to prepare for the worst, always, because if you don't, the worst happens.
War Room Pandemic. Here's your host, Steve K. Bannon.
And you've seen over the last 2 weeks, Joe Biden is a corrupt politician, and he's compromised, fully compromised. China is desperate for Biden to win, because if Biden wins, China wins. And if China wins, China will own America. They will own, and they're not playing games.
I said this 2 years ago. This is all going to come down to China. The President of the United States calling his rival fully compromised, owned by China. Want to go? We got Posobiec, John Bianco. We're going to get to him in a second. Jack, you got some follow-on from Rudy?
No, one of the questions that I have is, okay, we're talking about the FBI, we're talking about investigating the laptop. There are clear financial crimes that are involved here under the umbrella of Rosemont Seneca, a registered broker-dealer. This falls under the purview of the SEC. It falls under the purview of FINRA. I think that those agencies should be looking at this hard drive as well as the FBI, because they should be seizing those bank accounts of every single person involved, because likely there was a giant fraud here when they sold shares in these private equity deals in China to other people that they said they had skin in the game. They didn't have skin in the game. They had bribes in the game. That's called fraud, and there will be clawbacks.
More depth later on the Bernie Carrick Show on WABC. Jack Maxey will be the guest today. You've got some analysis, observations on Xi and Tiger Yang.
Sure, absolutely. This is adding to what Professor Balding said earlier and also what Jack Maxey said about the loan documents. I want to remind your listeners, Xi Jinping took office as Vice President of China in March 2008. He became General Secretary of the Communist Party of China in November 2012. So pretty much the entire duration of the Biden vice presidency, all the loans that were given to Hunter and all the supporting entities, Xi Jinping signed the check. So you have Tiger Yang, but behind him you have Dragon Xi. So it's crouching tiger, hidden dragon.
Yep.
That's who controls the Biden family.
And you think they're totally compromised?
Absolutely.
As a finance guy, no doubt.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Posobiec, Jack Posobiec, One American News. He's also a naval intelligence officer, speaks perfect Mandarin. Jack, where is this thing's exploding all the time? The President of the United States throws down, says that he's fully compromised. Fully compromised. Now, I got to ask you as a naval intelligence officer, could you get if you're fully compromised, can you get a security clearance?
No, that's right, Steve. You cannot. I mean, if this was a guy who was applying for his SSBI single scope background investigation, or if he was put up for even a basic, so there's two types of polygraph investigations that go on in the intelligence community. You've got your full scope. That's your lifestyle poly, also known as lifestyle. Then there's the basic CI, counterintelligence scope polygraph. I've gone through both in my career. He would not even be able to pass a basic polygraph test and some of the basic questions that are asked of him, and certainly about his family members.
As a member of the intelligence community and a member of the military intelligence community, if you were in the Oval Office today, knowing what you know from Chris Balding's report, from all this analysis coming out, from the emails coming out, etc., would you recommend that the President of the United States pull today, as we're speaking, Joe Biden's security clearance?
There's no question that this compromise shows that he has not taken due care to protect our access to national security information. You've got to pull the briefings that he's been getting, if he got clearance to be able to receive these briefings, and then replace it with a defensive briefing from the FBI outlining all the ways that he's been compromised.
As an intelligence officer, and you've seen the information, would you say that the Biden family, Joe Biden and his family, has been fully compromised? And if so, why do you say that?
The amount of compromise of the Joe Biden family it's bigger than anything I've ever seen in politics. And look, I've talked to Democrats about this over the past week, and you know what they're telling me, Steve? They're saying, Madam President. They think that they have everything they need to get Joe Biden out of office if he should win, and then have Kamala step up to be the president. That's what they want. That's their game plan here.
Hold it. I want you to hit the rewind. Give me that again. You're talking to Democratic sources. I obviously, if it's coming from you, they're legit. But you're talking to, because I know you know some wildcats over there. You're talking to legit Democratic sources that are saying what? Give me that again, because this is breaking some news. I think Madeline Peltz at Media Matters, right? We're leaving the yard now. Give me that again, Posobiec.
Right. So what they're saying is that they realize that they have enough information to either go to Joe Biden quietly and ask for his resignation, get him to step down, or even push for impeachment. They're saying that we could have Madam President by next summer if Joe Biden wins.
So why don't we all just kind of, circumvent that and just like pre-impeach him like in the next 9 days? Okay, do a pre-impeachment. I'd love this. Posobiec, I know we got so many people. We got to get to you. Give me where your investigations are going. What should people look for you for this weekend before our Monday show? What are you doing this weekend?
Well, we've got to look for this weekend. We're now digging deeper into. We're circling back, Steve. We're going back to Burisma. We're going back to the CCP and the Ukraine connections that all got started when Hunter Biden decided to make these deals. So we're circling back and finding out what was Hunter Biden doing that made Chris Hines run for the hills, and what was he getting involved in. And Joe Biden, remember, we've got him on camera admitting that he intervened in the Ukrainian government, getting him to fire that prosecutor. Why did he do that? Does his explanation hold up with the new evidence that we have?
The Hines family has to understand something. Particularly with Senator Hines, you're very classy. You're an American icon. Your company's iconic. You've done so much for Pennsylvania and for the nation. Chris Hines, you're a decent guy. You've got to come forward because we're going to make you famous. You got two choices here. We're either going Posobiec's on you, and when Posobiec's on you, your life changes, normally not in a good way.
And the other question that has to be asked of the Hines family is, Teresa, how did you let the stepfather of your son lure him into a crooked relationship with the Bidens when that man knew everything about them?
Terrible. And now we're connecting dots with Tiger Yang and his time on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Democrats got to understand this. It's all coming out. So let's have a pre-impeachment. Let's impeach him in the next 9 days so that we defeat him, and then Kamala can run in 2024. Jack, thank you so much. Jack, how do people get to your Twitter handle? I know our whole audience wants to follow you or is following you. What's the Twitter handle so they can get the breaking news of Jack Posobiec over the weekend?
Yeah, make sure you head over to @Jack Posobiec, JCKPOSOBIEC. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Part of the Polish brigade that's all over the story, right? Matthew Tierman, Bobulinski. Okay, thank you, Jack. I want to go now to Jana Bianco from the American Bomb Foundation. Jana, the President of the United States has said that the Biden family is fully compromised and that if Joe Biden wins, China wins, and that means the CCP is going to have their own Manchurian candidate, I guess their Wilmington candidate, in the Oval Office. What action, because you're a person of action, right? You represent the deplorables, the 25,000 deplorables that own bonds that she and the Chinese Communist Party have stiffed the American. Brits got paid off. Everybody in the UK's paid off because the Iron Lady made sure they were paid off. By the way, when she cut that deal with Deng Xiaoping about giving back Hong Kong, who was the interpreter? Tiger Yang. He was the interpreter of Deng Xiaoping. That was his rise to fame when he came to the United States. Tiger's been there a long time, listening, taking notes. He learned at a master, Deng Xiaoping. But when Margaret Thatcher bench pressed the Chinese Communist Party and said, "You want Hong Kong back?" there's a lot of things we got to square away here, right? And she didn't have a lot of negotiating power. She had nowhere near the negotiating power. She had nothing. She had no water in Kowloon, no water in New Territory. She had nothing. Trust me, those old Brits, they did not. Standard Chartered Bank, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, they did not want to give it back. Okay, they knew Hong Kong was going to end up like it is today.
Absolutely.
Those old guys, that old guard there. So, Jonna, you're supposed to be from the volunteer state. You're from Andrew Jackson's home state. He's the role model of the president. What would Andrew Jackson do in this situation?
Well, first of all, I agree with Jack. I agree with Fruity. We've got 1 million people out there with security clearances. The same network of people. The Bidens are clearly compromised. They need to yank these security clearances. We see it from Clapper. We see it from Brennan. We see it from Morrell. We see it from the very same people in the same nucleus that stick together like glue, continuing to cover up for the Bidens. Look, at the end of the day, you look at the intelligence community, and I think Jack Posobiec would agree with this. It is always deny, 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 create counter accusations. And if you go back, clear back to Uranium One, you go to the situation in Ukraine, you go to the Chinese Communist Party, the assistance that the Bidens provided to buy critical infrastructure within the United States, for and on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party that have infiltrated. The Bidens have been paid, the Clintons have been paid, the Obamas have been paid, the list goes on and on and on. And it's the very same nucleus of people over and over and over that we have seen. What they're accusing this president, this administration, Michael Flynn, and many others is exactly what these people are doing. And it goes back to their MO of deny, 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 create counter accusations. And that's exactly what we see. At the end of the day, though, this falls on Attorney General Barr, and this falls on the President of the United States to call to action immediately, yank their security clearances, cut them out of the inside, cut them out of the intelligence apparatus, where they're getting this information and then trying to use it against this current administration. These people are treasonous. They have sold out Americans over and over and over. And it's time America wake up, see it for what it is, get the Chinese Communist Party the hell out of our country. I bet the American people don't even realize that the bulk of the pork industry in the United States, Smithfield, is owned by the Chinese Communist Party. For the love of God, we've got 20,000 Chinese, Iranian, and Russian nationals in this country that are working in critical infrastructure facilities, whether it's our nuclear facilities, whether it is our electric power plants and our electric grid, our water factories, that are not U.S. citizens, just like what we've seen at Facebook, that are making the rules and regulations. The Chinese Communist Party has their people there controlling messaging. We have got to get China out of our country today, here and now. The Bidens, the Clintons, the Obamas, the John Kerrys, all of them need to go down. They are treasonous. They've sold out this country, our national security interests, and this falls on the back of Attorney General Barr to take action. Enough is enough.
Jonna, we got about a minute left. How are my poor bondholders going to get paid? How are they going to get paid? They just went through cash. How are they going to get paid?
You know, it's very simple. It's a matter of stop patronizing and caving in to and giving the keys to the White House to Steve Mnuchin at the U.S. Treasury, who is nothing but China. I throw him in the same basket of Beijing Biden, okay, because he supports China. He is not helping this president. China owes over $1.8 trillion to the American people. We see Nancy Pelosi and Mnuchin playing footsie together when it comes to bailout, PPP money, and helping the American people because of a plague bestowed upon us by the Chinese Communist Party. They owe a debt to America. It needs to be collected. And President Donald J. Trump needs to keep his word, promises made, promises kept, and actually hold China accountable. That the time is long past due.
Jonna, how do people get access to American Bond Foundation? You got about 15 seconds. How do they get your Twitter?
Come to our Twitter at ABF USA. You can go to our website, see the new video we have out, a message to the president, and holding China accountable, AmericanBondholdersFoundation.com.
That video is fantastic. We'll put it back up today. John, thank you for taking time away from your Saturday to join us. Okay, we'll be back. Dave Ramaswamy, Jack Maxey, Stephen K. Bannon in a moment with Chinese defectors.
Do you have any idea how your mattress affects your body and how well you sleep? Is it too hard or too soft, causing you to wake up with sore shoulders, back, or hips? Are you uncomfortable because you're too hot or too cold? Now you can get the total body support you need and the better sleep you want with the new MyPillow mattress topper.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. When I invented my new MyPillow mattress topper, I made it to have everything you'd ever want in a topper. My mattress topper helps give you the support you need, helps relieve your pressure points, and regulates your body temperature for you as an individual. It comes with a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry the cover. It's made in the USA, and I back it with my 60-day money-back guarantee.
Go to MyPillow.com or call now to get your very own MyPillow mattress topper. Use the promo code and Mike will give you 30% off and 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Order now.
MyPillow topper delivers on its promise to give me a better night's sleep.
I can sleep all night through, and it's a miracle for me.
Mike's exclusive 3-layer design starts with a layer of MyPillow foam, providing you superior support and comfort. The second layer of transitional foam evenly distributes body weight and helps relieve uncomfortable pressure points for optimal comfort. Mike's ultra-soft outer layer is a patented temperature-regulating cover that helps keep you at your ideal sleeping temperature all night long. Unlike other sleep systems costing thousands, the MyPillow mattress topper takes comfort to a whole new level without any wires, remotes, or moving parts. Call now or go to MyPillow.com to order your MyPillow topper. Use the promo code to save 30%. When you do, Mike will give you 2 of his standard MyPillows absolutely free. That's right, 2 standard MyPillows free and 30% off your MyPillow topper today. Order now.
I personally guarantee it's going to change your bed into the most comfortable bed you'll ever own.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept.
I really love the towels. They're really great. They're super absorbent.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work. And listen to this. Use the promo code on your screen and Mike will include a second full towel set with bath towel, hand towel, and washcloth absolutely free. That's 2 MyPillow towel sets for the price of 1 in your choice of color.
I personally guarantee they're going to be the best towels you'll ever own.
Order now.
War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
I want to announce a new sponsor, the Heinz Company and the Heinz Fit. No, just kidding. But we're going to make Chris Heinz famous. So, Chris, we know you're classy. We know you. Your family's very classy. Your father is really still a legend. Represents kind of a version of the Republican Party that doesn't exist anymore. However, he was a good man. Tragic accident that he died in. But, and you ran for the hills when you saw what these guys really like. So, Chris, you're absolutely. We can either do this the easy way or the hard way.
Well, you know,
right?
the sad thing for the
Hunter's
Heinz
the hard
family,
way.
they cannot escape the association of Rosemont with almost every one of these crimes, including a company called Rosemont Gemini, a real estate investment company out of Arizona. Rosemont, this is going to become the Rosebud of the Citizen Kane / Heinz family movie unless you guys move on this and do the patriotic thing.
Why is Rosemont like Rosebud?
Well, Rosemont is the name of the Heinz family farm outside of Pittsburgh, and it is also the name that is on multiple family trusts and multiple family vehicles, including Rosemont Seneca, including originally Rosemont Real Estate,
how do you know that?
which was purchased by Costco and Sino China. These are Chinese communist entities that now own Rosemont Gemini.
Do you know that? Do you know that from your Yale days or pre-Yale?
I know this from the hard drive, Steve.
Jack Maxey's going to be on Bernie Kerrick's show this afternoon. He's going to be going through the loan documents. Dave Ramaswamy, before I bring in some of the Chinese defectors, what's very disturbing here, CNN, MSNBC, is that this is not, they said he was out of office. Au contraire. These documents now, and the most shocking, the one they're going to have a toughest explaining away, is the loan documents. Joe Biden has sat there and says, it's all a lie. He has nothing to do with it. He's never made a penny. We got the signed loan documents, brother, where they're extending loans out for no payments during the time you're the vice president. When this gets actually into the Obama White House, into the West Wing, in the time of right now, we got the 2011 to 2013, right? And it's there. How bad is that?
See, a rolling loan collects no loss. So there's I mean, this thing...
It's just giving you money, right?
Tails I win, heads you lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. And this goes back to the highest levels of the Chinese Communist Party. They sit above every Chinese ministry. Bank of China is like an arm of the Chinese Communist Party. So it just stinks to high heaven.
And you see how Tiger Yang paid off for him. As the ambassador, he was all over Biden as the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, which is a very powerful committee. It's the one that Fulbright ran back in the 60s. I mean, this is it's considered the most prestigious, because remember, the Senate deals more with foreign policy. The House really deals with appropriations, and they've got the power of the purse. The Senate is the employment agency, and foreign policy, the bigger picture, right? Because they can look at things in 6-year time frames. The Senate Foreign Relations has always been powerful. Joe Biden had that. Not randomly had it. He's from Wilmington, Delaware. That's the post office box of all the global corporations. That's where they're all Delaware corps. You know why? They got easy state laws there. And they got a very pliant federal court across the street. Now we know they got a pliant FBI and pliant law enforcement. And I'm not getting on the working men and women of law enforcement. They've wanted to put the Bidens away for a long time. It's been suppressed. Like the AG she took the thing the other day as soon as Bernie and Rudy dropped it off. And she goes, let me have that. I got it. And she put it in a mail it regular mail to FBI, right? So we know what the story is. But this thing starts to explode now because now you're seeing so many aspects of it, and it's getting into the Obama White House. Obama's not a corrupt guy. You may not like his policies, but no one's ever accused him of the kind of graft and corruption you would normally associate with a guy coming from Chicago.
And for people out there listening, this grift started particularly with this fellow Jeff Cooper almost 2 months after Hunter Biden left his board position at Amtrak. These guys square away a single source contract through Amtrak. And we're going to be giving the names of their insiders at Amtrak. A lot of people got to start coming forward here, people, because the Bidens will take you down. If you read through Hunter Biden's emails, what's so crazy, he and his lawyer basically conspired to screw everybody. Eric Schwerin, buddy, when you see the emails that you haven't seen, you are going to realize that you have been used like a rented mule, my friend. You need to come forward and save yourself from going to jail.
So Schwerin, you want you to come forward. Before we turn to Honey Badger, Nam de Gur, for one of the defectors from China, Jack Maxey, Hunter Biden's lawyer. We're going to make him famous?
We are going to make him famous. You know why? George Meseraz.
He's the guy that contacted this is how much Russian information it was. He contacted immediately the little guy running the store. Go, hey, we got to get this thing back. I think my moronic client left it.
Just like Devin Archer started the grift when he became Heinz's roommate in college at Yale. Guess where Meseraz started out? As a frat buddy of Hunter. Those guys have been doing blow since they were freshmen.
Hold it. This another Yale guy?
No, I think they went to Syracuse together. But all that George Meseraz's entire career that I can find out has been as a lackey to the Biden family.
Running dog. Okay, running dog. Meseraz, come forward or you'll be made famous. Okay.
Listen, you got a bar license, Meseraz. There's clearly some stuff in here. Either you are willfully ignorant or you are a co-conspirator in the greatest criminal crime, greatest political crime in the history of this republic.
Okay. Jack's going to be on Bernie Kerrick lighting it up this afternoon. I want to go to Honey Badger now. And Honey Badger, tell us, how has the CCP, I want to know, President Trump saying Joe Biden's fully compromised. I want to know how the CCP has co-opted the system here in the U.S., particularly the political system. Could you walk our American audience through that?
Sure, Mr. Bannon. Thank you for having me here, by the way. The Chinese Communist Party utilized 5,000-year ancient Chinese wisdom to encroach America and the world. They plan long-term strategy and implement the strategy step by step, sneakily. You've already seen in the past decade the investment institutions that sponsored by the CCP capital piled into American stock market and private equity market and private sector, etc. They spend Chinese people's sweat and blood money to make themselves major shareholders in the top corporate in the U.S. And the CCP treats Chinese people as working machines. They squeeze out every little bit from Chinese people's pockets and then use those money to purchase tremendous corporate equities and real estate in the West to deepen their financial influence all over the world. They also use the sweat and blood money to bribe American politicians in order to obtain protections and partnership in the U.S. What's even worse today is the CCP collaborates with Washington Swap, Wall Street, and American media groups all together to deceive American people. And in order to send their evil partners into the White House, they launched overwhelming disinformation campaigns to literally turn things upside down, create hatred towards President Trump, and further divide the country. And American college students are also their targets. The CCP heavily infiltrated American academic institutions by donation and bribery so that they can indoctrinate socialism ideology into universities, as well as steal cutting-edge technologies and send back to the Liberation Army. The crime list is endless. It is all spectrum, infiltration, and attacks.
Honey Badger, we got about a minute and a half left. I want to go back something that people lose, and we try to emphasize on this all the time about Live Beijing and decent, hardworking Chinese people. I just want to make sure people understand this. You made the thing that we've been talking about. This is the blood money taken from the sweat and labor of the Chinese people that are treated like basically working machines or slaves in China. Can you go back and just tell us what you mean by that? Why, when Biden, these people take the money, when Wall Street takes the money, it's really the blood money coming out of the Chinese people?
So Chinese people is seen like literally enslaved underneath the totalitarian regime for decades. And, no matter it's Happy Joe Biden or crooked Clinton or even the great of all time actor Barack Obama, they are literally all the same as the Chinese Communist Party. Birds of the feather flock together. All they want is the personal interest and power. So they don't love this country. They don't love America. And for those bad guys, the corrupt politicians and the CCP, the whole globe is one money-generating machine in their eyes. The model is just use the dirt cheap slavery labor in China to produce cheap stuff and sell high to people in the West, and they sit in the middle to collect tremendous profits. So CCP wants Joe Biden to win for sure. They want their evil partner back to the White House so they can get a huge progress towards their ultimate goal, which is destroying America.
Honey Badger, thank you. I know it takes a lot of courage to come on the show the way they hunt your guys' families down. Really appreciate you coming on today. Honey Badger, that's the nom de guerre for one of the people in the whistleblower movement, the new federal state of China, and you see these people every day coming forward. You see them on the blog sites. They're on our sites. It's just amazing. I want to thank you. Okay. We've got so much to get to. We're going to have Dr. Yan on about how she's been pursued. But particularly I want to ask, here in the middle, they're talking about a new surge. My favorite guy, Tony Fauci, last night comes out and goes, we need a nationwide, yes, he said it, a nationwide mask. Of course he said it. He's trying to get involved. He's not a Democrat. Tony, I think I'd like to see your voting card. I know this was a secret ballot, but, I'm calling you out on this. I think you're lying. So I just want to see your ballot over the last 30 years. If you're Democrat, just not a Democrat, show us how you vote. He wants to have mandatory masks. Dr. Yan with the bioweapon of the CCP next.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I guarantee you they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best sleep of my life. They are so soft and smooth. I never slept so good.
I fall asleep faster because I'm actually comfortable.
I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable, which is why I can give you my full 10-year warranty. But I didn't stop there. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. I guarantee you the first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are available in a variety of colors and will be the softest, most comfortable sheets you will ever own. Use the promo code and get 2 for 1 low price, plus free shipping. Giza Dreams are made with the finest, most sought-after cotton in the world. Giza cotton was once reserved for only the finest dress shirts, but is now available in Mike's Giza Dream Sheets. They feature a beautiful silky sateen weave that helps keep you cool and comfortable all night long.
With the Giza Dream Sheets, I'm getting the best rest of my life.
I love my Giza Dream Sheets.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now to get your very own MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. Use the promo code and Mike will give you a very special 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. That's right, get 2 for 1 low price and free shipping. Call or go online now.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
For everyone like you making their business work online, there are people searching, headed in your direction. For every detail you adjust, there are potential customers digging deeper. For every photo you position, there are others watching and wondering. So since people are still looking for what you do online, GoDaddy is making it possible for you to create a website for free.
Nice technique with that knife there.
Start now at GoDaddy.com.
War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
And you've seen over the last 2 weeks, Joe Biden is a corrupt politician, and he's compromised, fully compromised. China is desperate for Biden to win, because if Biden wins, China wins. And if China wins, China will own America. They will own, and they're not playing games.
Bringing in now Dr. Li Ming Yan from Hong Kong University. She's a defector. She's the brilliant biologist who came to the West to tell us about the plague that has engulfed the world. Now with over 1 million dead, over 200,000 in the United States, 40 million infected. And we're talking about another massive surge in Europe, another massive surge here in the United States. It just goes on and on and on. And that's because Dr. Yan has been telling us, hey, this is a bioweapon. Did not come from nature. She proved that first. Then she proved that it's more than a gain-of-function experiment. I want to turn now, Dr. Yan. The reason I wanted to play that, Dr. Yan, the President of the United States is saying that Joe Biden's fully compromised. I don't want to get you into the politics of it. But since you're a fact witness, forget all your understanding of the science and your explanation of the virus itself and all that. You're a fact witness for actually what happened in the timing of it, since you were at the research, the reference lab of the WHO in Hong Kong You were the one that first contacted Beijing CDC on the 1st of January of 2020 because they knew something was happening in late December of 2019. That's why it's called COVID-219. Dr. Yan, what if President Trump is right, and if Biden wins, the CCP is going to own America? Given that you've had to leave your country and you've had to, your mother has been, arrested, all of this, can you give America a flavor for, you were going to be disappeared? What would it be like to have the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, own America?
Good morning, sir. So thank you for having me. First, I want to address that the moment I decided to leave Hong Kong to U.S. to reveal the truth, it's because Mr. Trump is the president in U.S. He is the one, I believe, the one who can help American people and also who can help the Chinese people to try to remove the Chinese Communist Party regime. I really trust him. If he's not the president, I dare not to go to U.S. because as a people who work, as a person who live under Chinese Communist Party regime for over 30 years, I really understand how evil and how powerful this government is. So this is the thing I have to clarify at the beginning. And the other thing I turn to how America or the world will be if you are under the Chinese Communist Party's control. Let's tell you that it's not only the whether you have to wear a mask or whether you have to do something. That is something you must do something. And don't expect that you have a chance to talk about things like in the war room or in the media or OANN, Fox News. No, there is only one voice, only one tongue come out from the Chinese Communist Party runs the medias. So this media will tell you that you can just listen to them and you don't need to have your brain because your brain is not consistent with their thinking. That is useless. And they will teach you from the baby and the kindergarten time and control every part of your life. And this happened exactly in my childhood and in many people's childhood, adulthood. And then after a while, if you still have a brain, you try to think even based on common sense, but which may make them angry, you will be disappeared, put to prison, and your family may be disappeared too. And as me, although I really say the truth, I really have the evidence, but there is no chance I can stand out and speak out to the world. I have to escape to U.S. and with the help of many, many whistleblowers and with the help from Miles, from Rule of Law Foundation, from you, sirs, and so many people behind, they prepare to sacrifice for this just to seek the truth, just to let people know the truth.
Dr. Yan, let me ask you, I want to shift topics just for a second. Seeing the surges in Europe, seeing the surges happening here with the fall, given the fact that you've now proven this is not in nature, about holding the CCP accountable but getting it back at this, what recommendations would you make to the president today that has to be done? Since he keeps calling it the Chinese plague, he keeps saying, hey, they brought it over here, to hold them accountable, but not for reparation or anything like that, but to solve the problem of this plague today, what would you recommend that the president has to do immediately to get control of this thing by confronting the CCP?
So what I want to say is I want to take example as we usually make in hospitals. If there is a patient gets sick, like people now in U.S. face to CCP virus. So you have to think about how to treat them immediately because you see the symptoms. You know they will die. You know this one is a very terrible disease, but you don't need to focus on the concept little by little, like whether this is exactly the bioweapon according to the traditional conception, whether these people really can do, that is the things you can try to investigate during treatment. The treatment is action. We won't say the people, the patient in the hospital dying and just say, oh, let's think about the reason. Let's find out the reason. Without the reason, we cannot do anything. we see the outcome already, and we know it will be worse. We have to do the action first. Try to stop these things try to not let it become worse, and also trace back to the reason. That means you have to do the action to try to punish Chinese Communist Party. At the same time, you will figure out how it come out to U.S., to the world from the Chinese lab, from the military lab in China. And why do they cover up, recruit the whole scientific world, WHO, and also people inside U.S., like Dr. Fauci in NIH, so many people in NIH, in CDC, they try to stop people to use hydroxychloroquine for both prevention and also early stage treatment. They even just want people to have the late stage treatment when they have very high mortality at that time. And you have to hold these people accountable too, because they are working for Chinese Communist Party. They betray U.S. They betray people who trust them. And also, back to the beginning, this thing should have never happened. So Chinese Communist Party have to let people go to China to search their lab, to check their communications, and to know what exactly happened. How did they invent this bioweapon, and what other things they have recruited inside? Find out this evidence, find out the data, and then that will be very helpful.
Dr. Yang, I got about a minute and a half left. You've been very critical of their vaccines. The Chinese now today are saying, hey, we got a vaccine. We're testing on 60 million people. It'll be ready before the Americans. What warning do you put to the world about the vaccines that are coming out of the CCP's medical facilities?
I always try to tell people that, first, China never have any vaccine successfully developed before. And another thing is Chinese people don't trust Chinese vaccine made in China vaccines. They also don't trust our government. The third thing is this virus, it has a very, the nature is very difficult for people to study the vaccine development because it is enhanced the SARS version. Can go back to check SARS. SARS has no vaccine because they have antibody-dependent enhancement and other problems. The fourth thing is our Chinese vaccine is now under the phase 3 clinical trial. They do have the side effect. They do show the antibody-dependent enhancement. That is my intelligence. But China government tried to hide it to tell people that it's 100% successful and perfect data. So they recruit people to be the mouse which should be happening in the lab. And also they don't care about the global health. This is just another way they try to cheat people, earn their trust, and also make money.
Dr. Yan, do you have your social media? How do we get your Twitter handle? I know they took you down, but I think you're back up. Can you get it for our audience so they can follow you?
Yeah, my Twitter, there are so many fake Twitter accounts, but my real Twitter has now over 50K followers. You can check it. You can find it from War Room because War Room usually at me. It is Dr. Li-Meng Yan first. And also you can check from Uda Media. Uda also at me very often. So these are the way you can do the identification. I don't know how long this Twitter account will survive, but before that, I will post the truth on my Twitter.
Well, I got to tell you, Dr. Yan, you know you've arrived when you got fake Twitter accounts. Thank you very much for taking time away from your busy. I know you're very busy every weekend, so thank you very much for joining us here in War Room.
Steve, you know what? She should be an inspiration for our audience. You know, everybody
Absolutely.
out there, we're kind of
100%.
fearful about what's going to happen with this election. We're wondering about what's going on in the streets. Here you have this wisp of a woman, a true warrior. Have you ever seen her without a smile on her face?
No.
And she is in true danger.
Yeah.
This is a hard person, man, and
She's
such
tough.
a wonderful person.
Steel in her
Great-
spine.
Great role model.
And talking about that, I want to shift gears slightly. We're going to get Li-Meng and our other defector here in a second, but I want to go to Dave Ramaswamy. Tell the people, we got about 3 minutes here. You in checking out the kind of the deplorables and the people with steel in your spine, you actually took a journey around this country over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in North Carolina, the great state of North Carolina, Tennessee, Western PA, and part of New York, you know, the I-81 highway. And what I saw there was the working class of America overwhelmingly supports the president. I mean, just informal survey of highway signs, it's like 50-1 Trump-Pence against Biden-Harris. So I, as someone with a math and statistic background, I never took these polls seriously. I mean, I say it's like lies, damned lies, and polling data. So, I mean, the very fact
Why?
that...
You're one of the smartest guys I know about statistics. Why do you think the polls are wrong?
It's a combination of, just bottom line, statistical oversampling.
You're not trying to make yourself feel better?
No, not at all. I think it's the issue of, if you look at like 1,000, 1,200 person poll sample, and if you look, they surveyed like, the 600 Democrats, 200 independents who had voted Democratic, and like 300 Republicans, and then say Biden-Harris is like 15 points ahead. It's like totally bogus. And then you can also construct a survey question saying, oh, do you hate bad man President Trump? Are you going to vote for him? And then, of course, it's like revealed preference. You don't want to say that openly. And as we've seen in our country, it's a horrific situation where openly supporting the president could get you seriously hurt or killed.
And fired.
Or fired.
Shunned, your kids kicked out of school. I just want to go back. We got about 30 seconds. When you're going down the highway, I mean, isn't that just a random sample, though, about signs? Or do you think that's emblematic of support?
I think it's very emblematic of support, and I think it's underrepresentation of support, because many, as you're seeing, like many people who put up signs, their signs are stolen, and you get harassed by neighbors. I mean, I've heard of people, they haven't even revealed to their spouse or girlfriend that they're voting for the president. I mean, so there's like a fear factor within families. I mean, it's absurd. You never think this would be the case in America. As I've said before, Steve, on your show, in America, it's safer to support Xi Jinping openly, but you can't support President Trump.
It's very prophetic. Okay, we're going to take a short commercial break. Dave Ramaswamy's going to join us. We're going to bring in another incredibly brave Chinese defector, talk about Jack Maxey's hit today on Bernie Kerik. We're going to be working all weekend here in the War Room, pushing out material from the hard drive all weekend long, and then making more people famous on Monday morning. Okay, we'll be back in a moment.
Stay tuned to get a free pan from Granite Stone. Stuck on eggs, burnt on batter. You can scrub and scrape, but you can't escape the nightmare of your sticky pans. Introducing the Granite Stone Pan, the all-new durable non-stick pan. No butter or oil needed. Watch, we melted down these sticky candies in Granite Stone, and it just doesn't stick. We cooked a half a dozen eggs, bacon, cheese, and tomato breakfast with no butter or oil, and it just doesn't stick. Look, caramels, chocolate, and cheese. Unreal for any other pan, but not for Granite Stone. It just doesn't stick. Granite Stone will be the last pan you'll ever need because it's pressed from a solid aluminum disc for even heat conduction, then coated 3 times with our durable Granite Stone finish. Granite Stone is metal utensil safe and won't scratch. And talk about non-stick. This salmon cooked skin side down with no added butter or oil just doesn't stick. This steak is perfectly seared just like the pros. And because Granite Stone is oven rated to 500 degrees, we bake this upside down pan pizza to perfection, and it just doesn't stick. Fire Flambe Delicious Cherries Jubilee. Plus it's PFOA free and 100% dishwasher safe. Call or go online to get your Granite Stone pan for the special TV discount price of just $19.99. Granite Stone is so durable it comes with a 10-year warranty. And with every order, you're going to get a Granite Stone single-serve egg pan absolutely free. It's the perfect size for personalized eggs, omelets, or frittatas that slide right out. It makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich quick. Yours absolutely free. We'll even ship your entire order free. That's right, free shipping. You get it all, an incredible value. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-850-0237. That's 1-800-850-0237, or order online at buygranitestone.com. That's 1-800-850-0237. Call now.
So, Frank, you're the big hurt. Why do you need Nugenics?
After 40, a guy loses free testosterone. Even me. I couldn't stay in shape like I used to.
Frank! So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. My workouts are incredible now. I'm feeling stronger, more energetic, with a lot more drive.
Frank. So, say I knew someone who should try Nugenics. How does he do that?
It's easy. Just send a text to get a complimentary bottle.
Frank's right. Now you can claim a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenix by texting BUFF to 42424. Its unique formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate. Text BUFF to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. That's BUFF to 42424.
War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Our co-host, the brilliant Dave Ramaswamy, laid out something that's an uncomfortable fact, Jack Maxey, and for our audience, that it's easier in the United States today, particularly, I will tell you, in New York City, in Los Angeles, in Silicon Valley, and where your betters live, right? Maybe throughout the entire country, but definitely in the centers of power, that it is easier to say you support President Xi than you voted for Donald Trump. Absolutely. In Hollywood, and in Silicon Valley, in New York City, in Washington, D.C., it is easier for you to say you think she's a good guy or you think she's got some smart things going versus I support President Trump. Our next guest, Han Mei, I got to ask you, how did that happen? How did the United States get infiltrated? How did they get infiltrated? So we're in a situation, Han, where people in the United States are be less dismissed if they support President Xi than if they support President Trump.
Hi, Mr. Bannon. Thank you for having me here. So I want to start with sharing a game. So there is a 2,500-year-old Chinese game, an abstract strategy board game for two players called Go, spelled G-O. And the aim is to surround more territories than your opponent. The CCP has been playing this game with the U.S. for decades. And right now, right at this moment, the whole game is being revealed, and it's unbelievable. Some still refuse to report it or even try to cover it up. So the CCP is in a race of controlling the U.S. versus the U.S. securing its own country. And they use a very sophisticated plan called the BGY plan. The CCP, they select or identify their key players, whether you're an individual, a family, an institute, or even an entity. The CCP analyze them, find out their weaknesses, and conduct tailored BGY plan on them, whether you need cash, drugs, women, or even children. You just name it. The CCP can provide whatever you need as long as you're worth their time. And so far, the CCP has marked the Biden family as their territory. In other words, they are compromised. They no longer represent the American people's interest, but only the CCP's interest. So if you play Go, you will know every playing piece you put down will affect your future moves, maybe the next 20 moves even. So same here, a tailored plan was made for the Biden family, which have been in place since the Dawn era, which dates back more than 30 years ago. And there are no coincidences here, and things do not happen overnight.
What, before we let you go, when you say BGY, do you think as you see coming out in the hard drive, the president basically backed what you said up last night. He said the Biden family is compromised. From what you've seen come out on the hard drive, the financial information, the documentation, the emails, and what you're seeing about Hunter Biden's personal predilections about drugs and others, do you believe that the Biden family is compromised? Do you think they become compromised by a BGY plan?
I think they're owned by the Chinese Communist Party. They are owned by the Chinese Communist Party. And I have one thing I want to say to all American people. I ask every American household and all other audiences to do an experiment today. So I ask each family to appoint one member to play the CCP, and the other family members can carry on their daily activities. So if anyone in this household have the CCP virus, this family member who plays the CCP can weld your door shut. And if you post anything anti-CCP on social media, your phone can be confiscated, and you will be arrested by this family member who plays the CCP. And if you worship God with some friends and family members at home, and this family member who plays the CCP can raid your home, confiscate the Bible, and arrest all of you, I can go on for days. I mean, American people, can you handle any of that? I can't. That's why I retreat to this country. I seek a safe haven, an American dream. What about you? Where can you retreat to from America? The CCP is at our door. We ran out of time to be afraid, to not even care. The enemy is at gate. We need to stand together, American people. But first, by not voting for Biden, a presidential candidate that has been compromised and owned by the CCP.
Han Mei, I thank you so much. Your bravery is unbelievable. Thank you very much for joining us on War Room Pandemic. We're going to make sure we push that out. Thank you. That's breathtaking, how brilliant that is. Comments, observations, Dave Ramaswamy.
You know, adding to what Han Mei said, Chairman Mao appears to Xi Jinping in a dream and says, I have 3 bits of advice for you. Number 1, encroach and grab as much territory as you can from all of China's neighbors and also in the marine territories. Number 2, capture, lock up, or kill all your political opponents. Number 3, paint Tiananmen Square blue. And Xi Jinping responds, why blue? And Chairman Mao says, I knew you wouldn't have a problem with my first 2 bits of advice.
Very good, Dave.
The Indian American stand-up
Guys,
here.
no, tell me about Bernie. By the way, Dave Ramaswamy, the audience loves him. That's what we got to bring you back. I want to go. Bernie Carrick, you're on this afternoon. You've got explosive stuff happening. Tell me what's coming out of this hard drive on Bernie Carrick.
We're going to go through the loan documents that started in 2013 to Biden family members. We have signatures. It's all going to come out on Bernie Carrick. I do want to say a comment, though, about these wonderful Chinese dissidents who speak on our show. And it's just been laid down for us what we are facing. And as always,
I'm ashamed, as an American, I feel so. These people came on today, 3 in a row, nailed it. Right? It's the best summary you got. You don't listen to anything. You don't need to come back to the War Room all week. Just take that when you go vote.
But as always, we can look back to our founders and to the way this country was started to find inspiration for the fight that we have before us. What were the real first words of the American Revolution? Captain John Parker at Lexington and Concord. Do stand your ground. Do not fire unless fired upon. But if they mean to have a war, let it begin here. Every American has to take the clarion call of their nation and stand up for that beautiful flag that people have died for. And the Bidens cannot become president, or that flag is coming down and the red hammer and sickle is going up.
Jack Maxey here. I'm Bernie Carrick, back at 10. Dave, final comments, observation. You have 30 seconds.
See, these Chinese women whistleblowers who are on, they have more courage in their pinky finger than our entire platoon of our elites. You know, Kamala Harris went to Howard University, but I think most of our elites went to Coward University.
I agree. And coming from the Ivy League, it's disgusting what's happened to the elites in this country. Okay, Jack Maxey's on the Bernie Carrick Show on WABC. We'll be back at 10 o'clock Monday morning, but a lot coming out over the weekend. Watch our Twitter feed.